Welcome back to One Brain at a Time. I'm Dr. K.
And I'm Dr. J.
So today is our season 1 wrap-up. But before we get into that, I just wanted to take a second to explain why we've been MIA. There's been a couple things going on, technical difficulties, which, I think we still have our training wheels on our bike.
We do.
But yeah, so we're a work in progress. But the other thing is I had emergency surgery about a month ago.
Yeah.
And for those of you who have listened, this would be my second surgery in 4 months. So it kind of took me down. And last thing I could do was get on this podcast and start yip-yapping. So thank you for your patience. And, it actually, in hindsight, gave me some more topics, that we touched upon it before about being a consumer in the medical field and just how incredibly important it is for that human connection when someone's in crisis. So we'll get into that more in season 2, but I'm kind of curious, Sissy,
Yes.
Dr. J, how you felt season 1 went.
Like you said earlier, it's been the highest highs and the lowest lows. And I just think that that's the human experience when you start doing something that you've never done before. And it's, just being patient with yourself and understanding that whether it's starting a job, a podcast, whatever it is, when you start something new, you got to find the grace of understanding that perfection's not going to happen and not getting tied up inside or with whomever you're working with. And it's just, again, giving yourself that space of knowing that you'll get there. And, I've loved this. It has been so much fun. And I am just so excited with the people and the feedback that we've received. So I'm really, really, really excited to focus in on season 2 and take what we've learned, and both positive and negative, to create a better season 2.
Yeah. I think it's interesting too, just as a side note, because you see the analytics on who's listening. Yep. What are some of the countries?
It's so wild.
Yeah.
One of our biggest followings is in Belgium.
Belgium!
I
Shout
know.
out to Belgium.
I know. Whoever you are there, thank you for downloading us. Never did I ever think. I really thought that it would be family and friends that downloaded this.
Yeah.
I never thought that it would be throughout the United States and Europe. And we've actually had downloads in Asia. What?
I, as you were saying that, it's one of those things too, that our listeners are our family and friends now.
Right.
Because we get to share with you. And one of the things that we really want to concentrate on in season 2 is being able to build that connectivity with the listeners and being able to interact through questions or whatever. And if you haven't done it yet, go check us out on Instagram, One Brain at a Time. And we're going to start to go into phase 2 of really kind of building our social media presence and really trying to get this out there. I was thinking this morning, knowing that we were going to have this conversation, I was reviewing my experience with this, and I realized that I had such reservations, and it wasn't about the podcast per se, but I don't like sharing my personal information. I could work for the CIA. That's how, and whether that's good or bad or indifferent. And I was thinking that this podcast is really pushing that for me, and how it's a good thing, and the whole purpose of this podcast was to share our story.
Right.
And that's really at the core of humanity, is we all have a story, and being able to share that helps us to feel connected. And what the world needs now more than love is connection. So hopefully we're achieving that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And, I think that what I say to the folks that I work with, that anything in balance is healthy. So our personal life is our personal life and our right to privacy. However, with that said, what I see often is that lockdown. I'm not going to share anything with the world or with my friends or with my family, for that matter, because it's rooted in control. And the truth is that if we can't pass forward some of the golden nuggets that we've learned by our education and by our age, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
So, that's the way I look at it.
But I think there's also a component of it that in our training to become therapists, it's you do not make it about you. You don't share your stuff. You don't. There's a real prescriptive model when you're training to become a therapist that it's not about you. You don't talk about yourself. It's all about the client. And I just remember, I might have mentioned this before, entering the field and almost being like a robot. And when a client would ask me, do you have kids? And how I'd be like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And then just like anything, when you grow confidence and comfort and whatnot, that changes a little bit. But anyway, so this has been an exercise in exposure therapy for me. And then on top of that, having some medical stuff going on. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. And it's all good. It was a gallbladder issue. It's all good. But
just on the heels of your foot surgery.
No pun intended.
That's true too. I also want to give a big shout out to our third person involved in this podcast whose voice isn't heard, but our voices are heard with him. And that's our producer, Ian.
Love you, Ian.
Oh my gosh. He has just been so instrumental in us being able to launch this. You and I are both not computer savvy, never mind launching a podcast.
Right.
So he's been as important in this whole process as the two of us. So Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Ian. He's got the patience of Job, as they say.
I know. He really does.
We throw out the Ian bat signal. Ian, help.
Oh, gosh, I know.
But anyways, so what are you hoping for in season 2?
Part of my vision in all of this, as we said in episode 1, this has been something I've wanted to do for years, but I only wanted to do it with you, and you were not ready, I guess, is because you would say no. So I guess that meant you weren't ready. But a part
you were like a piece of gum on my shoe. I'm like, no. Go away. No.
But part of my vision is, as you said earlier, just broadening our horizon. I would love to have some guests on this podcast because I think it's really important to hear the different voices and the different experiences that people have. I also want to utilize our email address and get some input from all of you out there on what topics you'd like to see us do.
Sissy, I think today it's DMs.
DMs?
Yeah. Direct messages in social media. I don't think people email. Although people can email.
Yeah. Depending on your age. So if I know, that's what I was just thinking.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's I'm just really excited to create even more in season 2.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to covering some more topics. And, I know what I was going to say.
What?
That this is our maiden recording while you're in Vermont and I'm on the Cape.
Yeah. This is our first official virtual recording.
Yeah. So look at us, high-techers.
Thank you, Ian.
Thanks.
We did a Zoom meeting and had him on it yesterday just to make sure that we could launch this.
Just to make sure, yeah. Because we've had some recordings that we couldn't use because of the sound quality, and so we have some topics ready to go. Couples therapy. Spirituality, a couple things.
I want to look at the field of obesity medicine. Ooh. I want to look at veterans wrangling with PTSD.
Yeah.
I work with law enforcement. I would love to get somebody on this.
Yeah. That'd be great. And for me, addiction. Also, because of my age, I'm really starting to get very invested in menopausal mental health and postpartum and things that affect women and men, obviously.
Sure.
But so yeah, some cool stuff coming down the pike, as they say.
Yes.
So I feel like because I played Gretel in The Sound of Music in 7th grade that I should kick into "So long, farewell, Avita, say goodbye."
And I was a senior in high school and I played a nun.
We have pictures to prove. Maybe we'll post that on our Instagram page.
I don't think
if we
will.
Can figure out how to do it. Ian. Anyways, well, in closing, just want to thank all of you for listening and being patient as we learn and grow in this process. And I look forward to season 2.
And I just want to thank all of you. You've made a dream come true for me. And I'm really, really excited to launch season 2. So we will talk to you soon.
See you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.